Chris Rutz, Tough Training Guy here. Wanted to talk about shoes and socks tonight. Most common question I get on my Instagram page and my Facebook page, which is Tough Training, is what shoes should I get? And as I'm an INOV-8 athlete, most people are always asking me, what INOV-8 shoes should I get? So I wanted to talk about INOV-8 a little bit and the 4 different shoes that I have here, when you might want to use them. First of all, 3 points I want to make with INOV-8. One is INOV-8s do not provide motion control. They will not correct your imbalances. They are made to allow your body and your feet to behave naturally. That's the first thing you need to remember. Second thing you need to remember is INOV-8s are very low profile shoes which help with trail running. And I can tell you, since I've been wearing INOV-8s, I have not rolled my ankle once. The key that you want to look at when you're looking at a pair of INOV-8s, there's arrows on the back of every shoe. This particular shoe says 0. I don't know if you can see that or not. This particular shoe is a 1 arrow. This particular shoe is a 1 arrow, and this shoe is a 2 arrow. That is the drop from the front of from the heel to the front of the foot. So a 2 arrow drop is 6 millimeters, a 1 arrow drop is 3 millimeters, and a 0 drop obviously is 0 millimeters. The second thing to remember is INOV-8 recently came out with 2 different fits in their shoes. One of them is a standard fit, which is a little bit of a wider fit, and the other one is a precision fit, which would be labeled with a precision fit tag. Also, the insoles will say precision fit or standard fit. The precision fit is a tighter fit. That is what has traditionally been the INOV-8 shoe. Most recently, they've gone to having some of the shoes in both precision fit and standard fit. So those 3 points to remember. I just thought of another one as well. When people tell me I'm wearing the 143s or the 243s or the 255s or whatever it might be, that is not really telling me what shoe they're wearing or what shoe they're thinking about. Each shoe has a model name. We'll start out with talking about these shoes. This is the BareGrip 200. This is the RocLite243. This is the X-talon 190. And this is the TrailRoc 255. The numbers is the weight of the shoe in a size 9. So TrailRoc is a series. They have a number of different shoes. They have the 255. They have the 245, which I'm wearing, which is my favorite shoe, by the way. So you have the number refers to the weight. So each shoe line might have a number of different weights that are going to have different designs associated with them. So as I said, the TrailRoc is my favorite. They range anywhere from a 6 millimeter drop down to a 0 drop. A very minimalist shoe in some cases, or a very bulky shoe in some cases. This is the 255. This is an excellent training shoe. The 245 is my favorite race shoe. I'll take that off again. I should probably just leave it up here. The main difference between the 255 and the 245 is a little bit more protection around the toe. That is going to not allow the shoe to drain quite as well. So if you're going to be using it for a race, I really suggest the 245s. The X-talon, think of this as a performance shoe. The grip on the bottom is very deep, so it's going to be very grippy, but it also is going to wear out relatively quickly, kind of like performance tires for a car. Great shoe. The 190 or the 212 are both great options. The 212, again, is not going to drain quite as well because it has a little bit more protection up here. This is one of my favorite running shoes. I go back between the RocLite and the TrailRoc. The RocLite243 has a nice sole, good grip, long-lasting grip. It's a good training shoe. This is a 3 millimeter drop. It's a good cushion on it as well, so it's not a true minimalist shoe. And it's just something that I find is a good shoe to train with. This shoe is the revised version of the BareGrip 200. I had the original BareGrip 200. That was actually my first INOV-8 shoe. This is a very, very grippy shoe, great for real muddy conditions. Ran a bunch of Tough Mudders in these. really no negatives about this, except it is a very minimalist shoe. It's a zero drop. It doesn't have much cushion in the bottom, so it might be a good shoe for you if you're into the minimalist shoe category and are used to not having much cushion. You really can't go wrong with either the RocLite243 or the TrailRoc 245. Those are kind of my go-to shoes. I vacillate between the two of them. However, I prefer to race in the TrailRoc 245. The X-talon, I'll use this for my sprint races. Great shoe. It's like I said, it's not going to be as long-lasting as some of the others, so don't get upset when the soles wear out after maybe 15, 20 races, something like that. So that's just kind of a brief overview on the INOV-8s. One thing I forgot to tell you guys that's not a part of INOV-8, and I'm going to reach in front of the camera here because I forgot to bring this forward, are socks. Socks are very critical, especially in the races, to keep the grit out of your shoes, and not out of the shoes, but out of your feet. I prefer the Injinji toe socks, so the socks with the individual toes. This way, when dirt and sand get in the shoe, they aren't going to get between your toes. You're going to have this little cushion, little pocket for each toe. So that's kind of my synopsis on INOV-8s and the Injinji socks. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me on YouTube, and if you're following me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, Tough Training on Instagram and Facebook, and @ToughRuts on Twitter. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.